Hello, this is a guide for no-hitting Endingtale. You can use this for Phase 1, Phase 2 or full fight no-hit runs. Before starting, I recommend downloading the debug mode for this fan game. That along with the normal game jolts link can be found in the description. I'll also provide the debug controls there too. Before we start, there are a few things to note. Firstly, in the main menu, selecting your soul on the second option, then clicking the second option changes the phase. This is massively helpful when going for phase 2 no-hit. Note that you have to navigate these submenus with your mouse. Also, clicking the first option allows you to change the difficulty. If you see Sans' eyes go black, then that's hard mode enabled. It is recommended to play hard mode when doing a no-hit due to a bug where you can take 0.5 damage on other difficulties. It counts as a hit, but the HP bar will not show it. Additionally, you can spare Sans on every attack except for Phase 1 Final, Phase 2 First Attack, and Phase 2 Final. It's faster, so I recommend it, but be careful of accidentally sparing Sans on one of these attacks. Also, this game has very lenient hitboxes, especially with the Gaster Blasters. Keep this in mind. For this attack, tap left once to get into one of the gaps and full jump, then do a small hop over the bone, a full jump to clear both the second and third bones, and a small hop over the fourth one just like you did for the first. Don't move until your soul changes, then hold X and up. Once the white bones turn orange, quickly move to the top left corner and prepare to move down as soon as the orange bones turn white. Finally, move to the middle as the Gaster Blast disappears, which is earlier than you think due to the lenient hitboxes of this game. This one has a lot of RNG. Stay in the middle and only dodge the bones moving up and down when you have to. You can also hold X to move through orange bones if needed. When the Gaster Blaster spawns, prepare to move to the middle after the next bone gap that spawns. Once the bone tunnel passes, move out of the way to dodge the Gaster Blaster as it's about to fire. During Sans' dialogue, hold all 4 directional keys. As the 4th slam happens, let go of all the keys except the left one. I recommend having extra pressure with your fingers on the left key for this, since this will feel strange at first to your fingers. As the soul turns back to normal, let go of the left key. For this next part, react to the top color bones. If they are blue, wait for them to pass through you, then quickly move right up and follow this pattern through the next set of colored bones. If the top color bones are orange, hold X and move right, up and left the second your soul turns to normal after the wall slams, and follow this pattern. An alternate strat here is after dodging these colored bones, immediately move back to the middle and stay still. There is a small gap you can stay in, followed by some blue bones. If you do this, you can dodge the attack up until the random color blasters. When the Gaster Blasters spawn, react to them quickly. If they are orange, move in a circle and hold X, since moving side to side will damage you. Make sure to end up near the center so you can go through the next set of bones. When the next section appears, react to the RNG bones by staying close to the middle. When middle gets cut off and forces you to the left or right, wait until the last moment and move to one of the locations shown here to dodge the first set of Gaster Blasters, while being as close to the bone column as possible for later. For the second, press up/down respectively to move back to the middle. Holding X is optional here, as holding X makes this less precise but requires you to react faster due to slower movement. When the column turns orange, hold X, move into it and start doing circles like so. Note that doing tighter circles can actually make it easier to accidentally stop moving for a frame and take damage from holding multiple directions that cancel each other out. I recommend practicing this attack a lot. Dodge the slams by holding up then down. Jump through the first gap, then before the second, move right slightly and jump through to land in the first gap on the floor. Then do a small hop to the second floor gap. From there, move right with the floor gaps and for each jump, land in the floor gap just to the left of the one you were in. On the 5th jump, after you land, jump another floor gap to the left. On the 6th, the gravity will flip, to go to the right and land in one of the floor gaps. Wait a bit and do a full jump through the next gap, which you can cut off if the bone gap spawns low. Land in the floor gap to the right of the one you were just in. For the next gap, jump through and land 2 floor gaps to the right, and for the 2 after that, do the same but land 1 floor gap to the right. After that, immediately jump as your soul will switch red to line up with the middle of the battle box vertically. Move left and right holding X to dodge the blasters. You can do slight circles when moving the other direction like this if you're worried about getting hit by the orange bones, which I recommend. You can also let go of X if you think you won't be able to make it past the blaster in time. Remember the lenient blast hitboxes. When Sandy's eyes go black in the dialogue, hold up. After closing the dialogue, wait half a second and let go of up. Move right as the bones open. Wait for the 2 blue rows and then move down through the next orange. An alternate strat here is to go left instead, then immediately stop moving once you're out of danger to dodge the blue bone, then move through both orange bones and stop moving again to dodge the other blue bone. This next part is very difficult and requires a lot of practice. The best advice here, when dodging the blasters, either mainly move vertically or horizontally, not diagonally, and predict where the waving bones will end up. When the blasters stop, which you don't need to or should count for, move to the middle, then go below the last waving bone and dodge the wall bones like so. Move in circles repeatedly, following the pattern I do here. If you're doing a no-hit, be careful to focus on the soul, since even if you know the pattern off the top of your head, you may still be caught off guard and get the hit for a frame and have a -1. Move up very slightly, wait a fraction of a second after landing and then jump, but not immediately, to dodge both the bone spinner and the gaster blasters. Wait around half a second and then do a small jump. Move to the left when the slam happens to dodge the right side of bones, and then to the right when possible to dodge the left set of bones. When the left set of bones pass, go to the middle, jump, and then when gravity switches, do a jump as soon as you land that barely clears the bones like so. Hold X and down when your soul goes red, and hold down left, then up left when you reach the bottom of the battle box to go through the orange bones. Hold keys to move to a corner. For example, here I'm going to the top left by holding up plus left. But let go of both keys as soon as you're out of the way of the Gaster Blaster, which is earlier than you think due to the bad hitbox. The second the Gaster Blaster disappears, move to the horizontal center to dodge the bones, then tap up/down as soon as the Gaster Blasters disappear to dodge both the bones and the Gaster Blasters after the screen tilts. For the next part, hold down to land on the first platform and then hold up to land on the second. Don't worry about reacting to the different bone patterns for the small hop. The difference is very small, so just focus on timing the medium jumps. Every gravity switch is followed by 2 jumps before switching gravity again until the 5th time, where there's only 1 jump and then your soul switches red. When that happens, wait for the orange bone to get close and move left, stopping as soon as you clear it to dodge the blue bone. You can also hold X and move left much earlier. Hold left or right immediately and let go so you land right next to the wall of the platform. Do a medium jump as soon as you land to dodge the bones. Then when you land, do the same jump and move so you land on the right side of the platform. Wait until the platform shrinks and then move left into the little gap between the bones and the platform, or to the left of the platform itself. When the left bone wall retracts, hold left and jump when you reach the wall. Don't move when you become the red soul until the box starts rotating. Hold X and move with the box until you reach the top left corner. Wait here until the box stops rotating and hold down to end up in the center next to the right wall, then stay still to avoid the blue bones. Start holding right, and once you reach the wall, tap down. Wait until the box rotates, then tap left. Move up and down to dodge the bones. After that part, wait until the slam, and do a small hop once you land. For the corridor, hold right until you reach the first bone in the center, then move up and down to dodge them. The bone corridor is easier than it looks. Just hold up/down until you can't anymore, then switch. Hold right again after this part and align yourself so you're approximately halfway between the right side and the middle of the central pillar in the background. Then move up to the ceiling once you are past the second pair of little bones. Move down only for the little bones and immediately move back up after you clear them. Don't worry about the spinning bones or the Gaster Blasters. After the fourth Gaster Blaster disappears, start moving right again through the spinning bones until you reach the next pair of little bones, at which point move to the center vertically. You can move left slightly here as well, like I do here, if you are too close. Hold left the second you land on the ground, and hold keys when the screen flashes black so you immediately move to a corner when the final section starts. Here you can stay in the corner for the whole section unless a Gaster Blaster spawns that will hit you in the corner you are in. Then move to the next corner going clockwise. For example, if you're in the bottom left corner, move to the top left corner. Keep an eye out for the spinning white bone as well when moving. I recommend practicing this attack the most out of all attacks in phase 1. You can skip the cutscene by pressing C. When the attack starts, hold right to reach the wall, then hold down to reach the bottom right corner the second the blue bone passes. Wait there until the slam happens and then jump and move to the center just above the bottom bones. Move to this location after the spinning bones passed and wait there until the horizontal bones pass, then tap up. Hold down when the screen flashes black and do 3 mini jumps on the ground to dodge the bones. After that, stay still in that location for the rest of the attack. At the start, do 2 medium jumps, one clearing the first 2 sets of bones and the other clearing the last 2, but fall off the platform on the last jump to dodge the Gaster Blaster. For the next part, jump onto the purple platform, go to one slide and slowly start moving to the other through the orange bone holding X as the blaster spawn. You can let go of X after the orange bone if needed. If the top or middle blasters are missing, stop at the other side of the platform and jump if the top is missing. If the bottom is the missing one, fall off the platform and jump back onto the platform as soon as it's safe. Repeat this pattern until the 4th set of blasters, which will always have the top blaster missing, so jump to avoid them. For the next part, the blaster will spawn either on the right or the left. If it's on the left, go to the right to avoid it, back to the left and jump to dodge the next 2 blasters. If it's on the right, go to the left to avoid it and go as far right as possible without hitting the bone to dodge the 2 blasters. The hitboxes for the blasters are very small, so keep that in mind. When the platforms open, fall down to the floor and react to the blasters by moving through the bone gaps. You can also do a small jump like this to be able to move through the bones before the gap reaches the floor. After the 4th blaster, wait for the blue bone to pass fully and move to the middle to dodge the next 2 blasters. When the bone walls close in, stay still for the first and hold X and move slightly up to here for the second.
This attack is very difficult. It introduces the orange soul, which makes you keep moving in direction when that direction is pressed, as if the key was held. However, you can stop moving if you move into a wall. Press left to dodge the first wave of the blasters, then press up and press left to stop by moving into the wall around here. For the next part, wait until the first right moving bone above passes and then cycle around the bones like so. When they change, continue to cycle but stick to one side only. You can tell the bones will change when the left moving bones below briefly stop appearing. After everything turns orange, follow this movement I do here. You need to end up where this area is, but only after the orange bones retract to the wall slightly. When you reach there, move down into the floor to stop moving. For the next part, wait for two of the bones moving up on the left to pass, then do cycles again. However, they must be very tight. At the end of this section, align yourself with the middle of the floor and press down to move into it and stop moving. Wait until the bones go colored. Then move right and move down again to stop moving like this. React to the colored bones and move to the ceiling after the final one. This last part is the hardest part. Wait until the bones of the left fall begin to retract, then immediately press down. You will likely need to time a next press here, as if you don't, you will be too fast and hit the bones moving left before they pass. Finally, tap up and move right, then press down. Don't worry about the Geyser Blaster here, you will never hit it doing this. An alternative method for this is during this part before the colored bones, move up here to aim the Geyser Blasters away, then dodge the colored bones but stay in the bottom leftmost area. One of the problems with the other method is sometimes you will not reach the ceiling in time before you have to move back down again, which can be annoying, but this method guarantees you will be in the right place to dodge the bones, although in contrast aiming the Geyser Blasters away is harder. Dodge the bones like normal, but instead in the top left corner instead of the bottom right, so the movement is flipped.
Move to the top left corner to dodge the blasters, then hold X and rotate around the spinners, shooting the yellow bones as they go. If you struggle avoiding the spinner, try to not move diagonally like this, it helps staying closer to the spinner and not getting hit. You can do what I do here and not shoot, but this is not recommended. I only find it easier because it allows me to focus on dodging the spinner more. When the spinner goes blue, move to the center since the bones closing in don't stop right away. After this, you will see colored bones appear. Memorize these as the next set of colored bones match the ones shown. The colored bones will always be the top bone, then left, then bottom, then right. For example, if you see an orange bone on the part where you memorize the bones, the second colored bone that spawns will be an orange one coming from left to right. Move to the left wall to avoid the yellow bones and dodge the colored bones. After the second color bone passes, an orange bone will randomly spawn on the left or right side. There's no way of knowing where it will appear, so assume it will appear where you are, meaning you must move here. I recommend holding X to dodge this. After the fourth bone, wait for the Geyser Blasters to shoot, then move out of the way of the arrow. Follow this pattern I do here to dodge everything else, which is the same every time. After that, the colored bones from earlier will appear again in the same order they originally shown, so react accordingly. If the bone show up as two orange bones on the left and the right, and two blue bones above and below, or vice versa, like this, it is difficult but still dodgeable. The best way to dodge this is to move through the orange bones first, wait, then move back the way you came to dodge the other orange bones, like this. You want to position yourself either to the left or right of the center or above or below it, depending on if the orange bones are moving up and down or left and right. That way you can move through them before the blue bones reach you and cause you to get hit before you stop moving. At the start, jump once to dodge the bones, then jump again to dodge the next. Although for this jump, don't jump too low, as even if you dodge this, the setup coming up may not work if you jump too low. As you start falling from your second jump, hold jump again. This allows you to consistently dodge the next part. While holding jump, land on the lower green platform, then you will do another full jump automatically, which will dodge the bones that arise from the floor. Hug the bottom left corner and wait for flowery petals to spawn, then move upright. Align with the center, then jump as you get slammed. You'll get slammed to the left after to jump and dodge the next bone. However, you may not be aligned properly during the slam due to falling for a bit from the previous one, so tap down slightly if needed to realign yourself for the slam. Jump again immediately as you land for the next bones. Then when your soul changes, hold up and move leftish to around here. Keep holding up with the moving box as 3 bones spawn. They will be in the same order every time, so only move right on the third one. When the spinner spawns, enter this gap and hold right. You do not need to worry about the blaster doing this. Position yourself just below the center around here while holding right. After the top bone spawns, move up and down, but also move left with the bones as you are moving up/down, then move back to the right as you go to switch directions, since just moving up and down is too slow. You should do movement that looks like this. You will get teleported to the center after this section. The bone is not random, but the petals are. Try to stay around the center, as that is a safe spot, and react to the petals. As the petals begin to stop, move to around this area to prepare for the next section. You will dodge the colored bones automatically. Wait until the next set of bones are about to collide with each other, then jump to around the height of where the collision occurred, and move left once you reach there to dodge the bones on the right side, like this. Immediately move to the center, then move to one of the areas that allows you to dodge the bone, trident, and fireballs. When the fireballs turn blue and move past you, move back to the center and prepare yourself for the slams. Jump on the right slam, then jump on the lower slam. Once you land on the platform, wait until the last moment to jump and do the highest possible jump you can while ensuring you do not get hit. If you do this, you should land on the ground after the bones on the floor retract. This is another very difficult attack. At the start, hold X and move up and down in a rhythm to stay in the middle. You can also move left and right here, however I don't do this, as while the key positioning on a traditional keyboard allows you to use 2 fingers, you spawn moving down, so you will have to press up first and then start moving left/right in quick succession before going too high up, since if you press left/right immediately, you'll most likely be too far down unless you time the left-right movement near frame perfectly. You could use 2 fingers with up/down movement also, but you really shouldn't, as it will cause the left key to be left over unless you position your fingers in a very awkward and uncomfortable way. Don't spam, as you will likely move too high or low, or too far to the left or too far to the right and get hit. When the bones retract, move down till your soul is just above the bones at the bottom and move left and right, again in a rhythm. The ideal height here is to have your soul above the bones, so there's no gap, but the soul is also not clipped slightly into the bones. If the soul is clipped slightly into the bones, that's fine, but you have to move left and right much more tightly. Repeat this left and right movement until you're teleported, avoiding the boxing gloves. When the border turns into a circle, random bones will approach the border from different angles and divide into 2 when coming in contact. You can either go around the sets of 2 bones or go between them. Going around allows more freedom for movement but can be harder to read, whereas going between is easier to read but more precise of movement. After the circle border goes to normal, move to the center of the floor like this and wait for the bone moving up to the left of you to pass, then move left, go up, and once you're higher than the bone moving from right to left, move to the center and move back and forth to stay at around that position. After that, move to the floor and dodge the bones. This next part is the hardest part, so I recommend practicing it. Move to one of these parts of the border, then try to stay in that area of the border as it rotates, circling around the bones. If you don't do this, there's a chance you may get caught in a situation where you'll get hit if you circle around the bones, which you want to avoid. Additionally, don't hold X here, as if you do, the bones will be too fast. Another strat here is that you can alternate between each of the 2 areas on certain parts, so you don't have to circle as much. The downside of this is if you miscalculate when to switch, you'll guaranteed get hit. After the spinning stops, push against the center of the left wall. This isn't necessary, but it helps as it makes dodging the Gaster Blaster easier. Move to the bottom around the center, being out of the way of the blaster, move up and down after it shoots to dodge the bones. Hold down left as soon as the attack starts, then move up and right through the orange bone as the hexagon begins to slow down. This next part is luck heavy. The Gaster Blasters will always be the same, but a random bone will turn yellow on each spin of the hexagon, which you want to shoot. Ideally, wait until the bone above you turns yellow so you can shoot it. If a Gaster Blaster prevents you from shooting the yellow bone fully, shooting it partially can still work. However, you can also shoot one of these two bones if they are yellow, which is much trickier. So try it as a backup if you get unlucky. Or you can use this method as well if the Gaster Blaster blocks you from shooting the top one fully. Also, the hexagon will always spin anti-clockwise, so you can know if there's a bone that will eventually move into the top position. Shoot the descending yellow bones and wait until after the second blaster fires to leave the hexagon. Note that if you don't shoot the bones fully, you have to leave before the hexagon closes in. Navigate to the bottom left corner and make sure to shoot any yellow bones descending left over. There's an alternate strat here that skips all of this but is extremely precise. If you can get consistent at this, you can skip all the RNG here. At the start of the attack, hold bottom left again, then move to this precise position to dodge the wall bones and the hexagon, which will look like this. Then move back to the bottom left as soon as you can and start shooting the yellow bones, as they are the only thing that can hit you before the teleport. For the next part, as soon as the teleport finishes, spam to get rid of the yellow bone, then wait until the blue and orange bones close in. Do not press left or right here. As they are about to reach you, move down through the orange bone, stop after due to the blue bone. Whilst the central bone appears, get as close as possible to the bone, still not moving left or right, and wait for the four bones to target closing on you. When they do, move back down to the floor. Start spinning around with the bone as it does, not holding X. The smaller bones will spawn depending on where you are, and approach the center, then start spinning too, so going to the corner to shoot this will not work as they will spawn there and hit you. If you circle around very close to the center here, you will get hit by the smaller bones, but try to be close to the center. When the bones turn orange, hold X and do very small circles. Again, if you move back the way you came from whilst an orange bone, i.e. moving left and right without moving up and down like this, there's a very high chance you'll stop moving for a frame and take damage. To avoid this, make sure you have another key held while changing directions. All the bones after the spinner goes orange are the same. Follow this pattern for this section as it allows you to dodge all of the bones consistently without having to do a direct turnaround like this and risk getting hit. Make sure to hold X the entire time here unless you absolutely need to let go from being too slow otherwise. Practice this section until you get comfortable knowing where to go. Immediately hold up at the start of this attack. Wait for the blasters to shoot, then go right and immediately start heading down once you are past the bone. Make sure to go left and back to the right on the way to dodge the bone spinner. Once you reach the floor, go slightly right of the center of the ground to avoid the other bone spinner that is heading down. When the colored bones close in, move right through the orange bones, wait for the blue bone and move to the center of the ground to prepare for the next jump. Do a small hop here and jump over the bones. When you need to land, move left when you are directly above the gaps as they move at the same speed as you. For the colored bones, they are not as precise as they look, but I recommend practicing that until you are comfortable dodging this consistently. I also don't recommend moving left with the bones here as it doesn't actually help with anything, it only delays the inevitable. Hold left as the slam starts and let the block push you. Then hold up as you are about to be pushed into the right wall so you end up between the bones in the next part. The bone walls will always be the same here, in the order left, up, right and down. The Gaster Blasters are random but never target the middle of the safe area, only one of the outmost parts. Before the bones change, try to move as close as you can to where the next safe area will be so you have to move less during the changes like this. The best tip for this section is to not panic if you do this. You have more time than you think. You can even hold X in the corners. Once you get to the bottom area, to the way of the Gaster Blaster, wait for the screen transition, then hold left. Once you reach the left wall, wait for the first two Gaster Blaster patterns, then move up to here. Wait for the next three Gaster Blaster patterns, then move back to the center. This attack is optional. Spare Sand's here to end the fight. This will still count towards the no-hit. You can choose to do final if you want, but it is pointless and not recommended outside of getting a different ending. If you have any questions or need any advice on any of the attacks, then ask me in the comments and I will reply. Make sure to practice any attacks you find difficult or are inconsistent until you are as good as you can possibly be at them. As mentioned previously, all the resources will be linked in the description. Also, shoutouts to all the people mentioned in the description. Goodbye.